turn. A bit off camber this turn. Ooh, that's a bit squiffy. It didn't like that. That was a bit ropey. Never like that corner. There was a lot of diesel on that. Well folks, out on the BSA. I didn't think this would be the first video. I've tried to do the first video several times on the Harley, and then the mount for the headlight has split, so that's a no-go. And then a friend on his 125 said he wanted to go out for a quick run in November, and it was either fight to get the Triumph out, it's a bit of a weighty git, or bring the BSA out for some fun, which I wasn't expecting to do this year, to be honest, but you know, roads are clean and dry. We finally got his bike up and running with a decent carburetor on it, so he wanted to get out and test that before it gets too cold. They start putting salt on the road, and yeah, so we've come out, enjoy the country roads out the back of ours, watch the farmers ploughing and feeding, and all the seagulls eating all their produce and whatever else. But yeah, oh, going a different way. So yeah, this will be the first ride along on the channel. Oh, that was a bit squirmy out there. And it's on the BSA, which I wasn't expecting, like I say. But yeah, the channel is primarily just going to be me out and about on the bike, going out for little runs like this. Just perfect excuse to enjoy riding again, I guess. So this is probably more of an audio test and a visual test for position of the camera. Hopefully it works, so that sun's not too dazzling for you at the minute. But yeah, so currently got 3 bikes. I intended to kind of work the channel around my Harley 883 Sportster, but like I say, the headlight shell has split on the mount and the headlight was bouncing all over the place, and as a result I'm waiting on new headlight to come. So that's parked up in the garage again, and we're out on my ultra reliable, honest 1970 BSA, well it's actually registered a Triumph 250 that's now fitted with a GP spec 441 Victor competition engine that's got a CCM comrod, PES crank, and many other high performance hill climb, dirt cross goodies, all squeezed into a street scrambler for some sort of tear round hooligan machine. And we're this is a load of issues with this bike, with bogging down and failing ignition and stuff, and it was electronic ignition, but it was an old Boyer Mark III unit that just wasn't particularly up to the job. And there's a video on the channel of me fitting the new ignition system on it, and this is actually the other than a quick spin around the block to make sure it was working and check the carburetor set up when it was warm, this is the first run out on it, so hopefully it don't let me down, and hopefully we have a reasonable ride. But yeah, more about the channel. I'll stop saying yeah, the channel, it's something I wanted to do for a long time. And I watched a good few YouTubers doing this sort of thing, and it seemed like the perfect excuse for me to actually get out on the bike a bit more, which I just don't do often enough, especially all year round. Like this time of year, the bikes would have been winterized, hibernated, and already, yeah, be dreaming for next spring by now. Especially this, given how much chrome it's on. I'm bloody daft enough to chrome the swinging arm, so there'll be plenty of cleaning after this ride. And yeah, it just give me an excuse to get out on the bike. And I've always found reasons not to do it, whether it be money for the GoPro or, you know, time is usually the biggest one. And yeah, but I'm watching a few YouTubers like Blockhead and Shade Tree and a few others, and heavily inspired by their channels. Taking off Sleazy down here, and then we come to this beauty. So this is my 1970 CCM BSA cross thing, and this is actually a replica of a bike my dad built in the 70s, so 1978. I'll insert a picture of him with that original bike somewhere on the screen. A bit of a sticky clutch on this. Excuse the wind. Yeah, so I made a replica of that. Nice house. So yeah, made a replica of that bike, and built it actually for my wedding. But yeah, it took ages. So all I was just staring at photos. I remember as a kid, I had a copy of the magazine that the bike was in, and I used to look at this bike for hours on end. And I always knew eventually I'd build a version of it, and back with you in a moment. Oh, my leg. And we're back. So I can't remember what I was saying. He wanted to stop for a quick photo. That might do for a thumbnail, you never know. Yeah, we were just talking about how much fun his bike was to build, and some ideas and plans of what we're going to do next, basically. Ooh, loose chippings on the floor. But I didn't film it, so you'll have to believe me. But she fired up first time after being stopped warm. This is it's really strange. Like I say, I know I was talking about the BSA at some point. I'll go back to that. But that idea of dreaming about a motorcycle and idealising the motorcycle, and then when it came to pass to actually put it together and start doing it, I suddenly had this fear of, like, kind of that don't meet your heroes. What if it's not as good as you're hoping it's going to be? And to be honest, the very first time I put it together, it far surpassed any of my expectations. Just the sound, the feel, the experience. I mean, the brakes are a little bit less than to be desired, being drum front and back, but I've got a you just learn to leave a bit of space for that. Yeah, I mean, it pulls like a train. It's super high compression, the motocross cam. So for a 1970s street scrambler, you know, BSA's last throw at the wall, it's pretty damn good. I did have some issues. It blew the big end in the crank within 100 mile of the first build. That was put down to an engineering shop that put the crank together, so no fault of the bike, no fault of the engineering behind the bike. I mean, they're known for being well overstressed and whatnot, but it seems they treat it with a little bit of respect. It'll still pull a good turn of speed when you want it to, but for the most part, you know, it's alright. Yeah, so it's a bit fresh out today, doubly wrapped up in thermals and a fleece and many other things. Nancy's chimney over there. Keeping up. We had a bit of problems before with the old carburettor. His bike was pretty much flat out at 40 mile an hour. It'd stretch out to 55, maybe 60, but you needed a good long straight, a little bit of downhill, and all the goodwill in the world, and you know, grace of the gods. Whereas now with that flat slide on, which is a remarkable bit of kit for 75 quid. It's a nibby carburettor, and we literally did a base jet setup of 1.5 turns out, as you'd expect, and this turn, got a bit off camber this turn. Ooh, that's a bit squiffy. It didn't like that. That was a bit ropey. Never like that corner. There's a lot of diesel on that. Yeah, forgot where I was there. It was a bit concerning. Oh, she do. She goes so well. Oh, that's a false neutral. He's still with me. Actually, he's enjoyed it. We want to get back before it's too dark. He's got a new headlight to put on, and the one that's fitted at the moment is, I'd say, beyond questionable. Whereas this headlight on this is great. It's got a 750 Bonnie headlight on this. Well overkill. You used to have like a little trials thing. This is like having a lighthouse attached to the front of the bike. It's great. The old mate's keeping up. It's nice to see. Commute to work on this. It's a lot of fun. really am getting more and more confident with this bike. It got to the point where it was so picky, and like eventually you couldn't get 3-4 miles away from the house, which after putting so much time and effort and all that overtime money into getting it built and on the road, it was so disheartening. The point where you just park it up and put it at the back of the shed and just, you know, just think, I can't deal with this anymore. But then when you get it fixed, quite a bit damp on the road now. Come on, Luke, open it up. I know she can do it. Well, I'm going to call it there for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the little run out. Like I say, there'll be a bit more interest on the channel once I know that the setup's working, microphone and whatnot. But thank you for watching, if you've watched this far, and click like, subscribe, there'll be more videos to come. And yeah, for now, take it easy, I guess.